The IFF, Identification Friend Foe, system helps us to prevent unintended attacks on friendly aircrafts. Without IFF, the JF-17's radar displays all contacts in yellow color, making it impossible for us to distinguish between friend and foe. On this training mission, we will learn how to use the JF-17's IFF in conjunction with its radar, to distinguish friend from foe in air-air combat. The IFF subjects we will cover are Interrogator and Transponder, IFF Modes, IFF Codes, how to employ IFF with the radar, multiplayer considerations. Press spacebar to begin. The JF-17 autopilot is active, so that you can take a moment to set up the cockpit. We've also placed DCS on active pause, while we configure the aircraft and explain the IFF basics. You can adjust the cockpit lighting, if needed, using the knobs at the right console. Press spacebar to continue. To practice the use of the IFF and the radar on air-to-air combat, please select Air-to-Air Master Mode using the T1 switch on your HOTAS, or press the number 2 key. Good. Air-to-Air mode is now selected, and the mission computer has assigned a default configuration for the MFCD displays. Press spacebar to continue. Like we did on the radar training, we will place the radar screen on the right MFCD, in order to have a better view of it during this training. Click on the right MFCD menu button. Next, click on the radar button. Perfect, the radar page is now selected on the right MFCD. Press spacebar to continue. Let's change also the left MFCD. Next, click on the HSD button. Good, the HSD page is now displayed on the left MFCD. Press spacebar to... Finally, let's change the center MFCD to display the SMS page. Click on its SMS button. OK, the SMS page is now displayed on the center MFCD. All three displays are now customized to our preference, for the air-to-air mode. Press spacebar to continue. A real IFF system consists of two components, an IFF interrogator, and an IFF transponder. The interrogator is used to ask other aircrafts if they are friendly or not. The transponder is used to answer such queries made by other aircrafts. They are two different devices. If you don't set the transponder correctly, other friendly aircrafts will believe that you are not friendly. However, on DCS only the JF-17, being flown by a human pilot, is actually equipped with a fully simulated interrogator and transponder. Currently, all other aircrafts in DCS, including the JF-17 flown by AI pilots, use a simplified IFF, where the simulation simply cheats and just checks to what coalition a radar contact belongs, and then depict it as friendly or hostile, something a real aircraft can't do. Press spacebar to continue. First, check that the IFF system is powered, by looking at its green LED on the AAP, Avionics Activation Panel, on the right console. Normally, the IFF system is powered up when the aircraft is started, but we have turned its power off on purpose, so that you may see which button turns the IFF power on. Note that having the IFF system powered, does not mean that it is actually active, for that you will have to activate it later. Now, please click on the highlighted button in order to provide electric power to the IFF system. Press spacebar once the IFF system is powered. We will now activate the IFF interrogator. Open the IFF menu page on the UFCP upfront control panel by clicking on the highlighted IFF button. By default, the interrogator page is shown to let us choose the IFF mode that we will use for the interrogator. Over time, several IFF modes have been developed, both for military and civil use. The JF-17's IFF system can use modes 1, 2, 3 and 4, but since DCS has not yet finished the development of mode 4, DECA designed its own version and called it mode 6. Only one mode can be active at a time, its status being designated by a plus or minus sign, representing on or off. Initially, all the modes are off. For single-player missions, the easiest mode to use is mode 1. On the radar it will display friendlies in green and hostiles in red. Let's activate mode 1 to see how it works. Click on the arrow next to M1-, it should turn into M1+ once activated. Modes 1, 2 and 3, use an unencrypted code-based system. When the interrogator asks other aircrafts what's the code, if their code answer matches your IFF code, they are assumed friendly and shown in green color on your radar display. If their code does not match, they are assumed hostile and shown in red. If they don't answer, they are unknown and shown in yellow. If the enemy gets to know your IFF code, they may spoof you and try to pass on as friendly contacts. For that reason, your coalition's IFF code is changed periodically. Okay, let's now activate the transponder. Click on the highlighted arrow to display the transponder page. On single-player missions, it isn't really necessary to activate the transponder, because the AI aircrafts don't have a properly simulated IFF that could interrogate our transponder. The AI will magically know if we are friendly or hostile. On multiplayer missions, you only need the transponder if there are other players also flying on JF-17 aircrafts and the server isn't enforcing magic IFF. The transponder mode page is similar to the interrogators. As practice, let's activate the same mode 1 that we used for the interrogator. Click on the arrow next to M1-, it should turn into M1+ once activated. Good, we have now activated both the interrogator and the transponder, both of them set to IFF mode 1. We will now activate some friendly and hostile contacts for you to practice IFF on them. Please, make the radar sensor of interest, SOI, by using the HOTAS S1 right. We have activated 4 contacts. Adjust the radar display range to 80 nautical miles and azimuth to 30 degrees. Use the TDC to move the detection zone horizontally until the 4 contacts are visible. The radar displays the contacts in yellow to denote that they are unknown, as it can't yet ascertain if they are friendly or foe. Press spacebar once you have the 4 contacts on the display. With the radar being SOI, pressing the T4 press on the HOTAS, or holding the I key, will activate the IFF interrogation and the radar contacts will change color accordingly. Do it now, press and hold T4. Please note that it will take several seconds before the contacts are fully green, friendly, or red, hostile. You should see that 2 of the contacts are friendly and the other 2 are hostile. Once you release the key, the contacts will revert to yellow. The IFF symbol on the radar will be boxed while interrogating. If no box appears, check that the radar is SOI, that the interrogator is activated on the UFCP, and that you have binded the T4 press to your HOTAS. That was Mode 1 IFF operation on a single-player mission. Let's now try the other IFF modes. Please click on the highlighted arrow to display the interrogator page on the UFCP. Select Mode 2 for the interrogator, by clicking on the highlighted arrow. Next, use T4 press to IFF the radar contacts again. You will see that now all 4 contacts appear as hostile. This is because Mode 2 is actually meant for multiplayer missions, to be configured by the mission designer, where he has to assign an IFF code to every JF-17 aircraft on our coalition. Even though this is not a multiplayer mission, I will use this as an opportunity to explain what the IFF codes are. Press spacebar to continue. Click on the highlighted arrow to select the IFF interrogator codes page. Mode 1 uses a 2-digit IFF code. Modes 2 and 3 uses a 4-digit octal code, so you can only use digits 0 to 7 for their code. Mode 6 can use one of 2 encrypted keys. Key A or Key B. Keys A and B are different for blue and red coalitions, so they can't spoof one another. For this example, we need to set the correct IFF code for Mode 2 interrogator. Please click on the highlighted arrow and use the UFCP keypad to input 0001. Remember to press the arrow again at the end in order to enter the value. OK, now use T4 press to IFF the radar contacts again. You will see that, this time, the radar correctly displays 2 friendly contacts and 2 hostile ones. This is because we have now configured our interrogator with the correct IFF Mode 2 code. On a multiplayer mission, this code would have been provided to us by the server admin, either on a briefing file or via private text message. This highlights the inherent weakness of the unencrypted IFF modes. It is easy for a hostile player to get to know this value, he just have to play this mission once on our side. This would allow such a player to use the code and pose as friendly on our radar. Press spacebar to continue. Select Mode 3 for the interrogator. Now, use T4 press to IFF the radar contacts again. You will see that it works exactly as Mode 1 did, showing up 2 contacts as friendly, green, and 2 as red, hostile. However, this time we didn't need to set up an IFF code, as we are on single-player mode. Press spacebar to continue. When you bug a target in TWS or if you enter STT in any interceptor mode, the IFF interrogation will automatically start continuously. Try it, release the T4 press and then move the radar cursor and bug any of the contacts, the IFF will automatically activate and the yellow contacts will turn green or red. Please note that radar contacts that are using ECM jamming cannot be IFF interrogated until the radar burns through the jamming. Press spacebar to continue. For our last test, select Mode 6 for the interrogator. Next, use T4 press to IFF the radar contacts again. You will see that it works exactly as Mode 1 did, showing up two contacts as friendly, green, but the hostile contacts now appear yellow rather than red, and they are unknown contacts. This is more realistic and like it is on the real plane. The reason is that a friendly aircraft could have the wrong code on its IFF, or he may have forgotten to activate the transponder, so the system defaults to a safer option, depicting these as unknown rather than hostile. This means you can only be sure that a green contact is in fact friendly, and the encrypted key makes it impossible that it could be a hostile posing as friendly. All other contacts are unknown and you would need other means, like an AWACS, to be sure that they are hostile. Press spacebar to continue. As this training mission is obviously meant for single-player environment, we cannot demonstrate the following points, but we will still at least try to explain them. On multiplayer servers where there are no other JF-17 flying except for our own, or the other JF-17 are all AI, you can use the interrogator set to IFF modes 1, 3 or 6 and there is no need to activate the transponder. They are basically the same as single player. On MP servers that enforce the simplified, magic, IFF, any IFF mode on our interrogator will function equally well and the radar will show green and red contacts, never displaying unknown, yellow, contacts, as the simplified IFF leaves no room for mistakes in identification. If we are on an MP server that doesn't enforce magic IFF, and there may be other human-controlled JF-17, we should use Mode 6 IFF both on interrogator and on transponder. The radar will show friendly JF-17 as green if they have their IFF transponder active and set to Mode 6 and use the same encryption key as us, either A or B. Any other JF-17 will show up as yellow, unknown, including friendly ones that have the IFF transponder not activated, or are using a mode other than 6 or using the wrong key. Press spacebar to continue. Well done, we are now at the end of this training lesson. The subjects covered during it were interrogator and transponder, IFF modes, single-player considerations, IFF codes, how to employ IFF with the radar, multiplayer considerations. You may now press escape and leave the mission.